Hi, I'm Ario. I'm up in the hills of Cebu City, Philippines. And I basically mentioned that just in case you can hear the chicken in the background. Okay, so I want to talk to you about right now something I really debated whether I wanted to share this or not. And I feel like for the men out there, I really have an obligation to do so. And, I wrote a book called Journey to Awakening. And one of the most impactful things that happened in my life when I was 6 years old. I was raped when I was 6 years old. I was woken from a sleep, and it was a violent experience, and it was the most emotionally impactful thing that could have happened in my life. As most children, 6 years old, I was an innocent little child. Now, I blocked that memory out immediately. There was no way I could cope with the trauma of that situation, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Now, that experience ended up being the greatest gift in my life, and I'll get into that in a second. But one of the things it actually did for me was it created a deep, dark hole inside of me. Maybe almost like a split personality. It's actually the first time I've actually thought of it this way. But I was driven in my life to succeed. Now, I'm also hearing impaired, and I come from a hearing impaired family, and with not a lot of aspirations. I'm really one of the only ones in my family that is really broken out to experience their potential. But this black hole was driving me. If I didn't go after opportunities or situations in business, then this black hole would consume me, because there's always this voice in my side that you could just give up, Ron. You can just give up. And again, I'm telling this story for the men out there because this is such a taboo subject. And whether it was acting or playing professional soccer, having never played in my life before, or taken on executive positions, I had to take on the impossible. Even launching World Peace 2012, where I wanted to save the world, before I really saw what had actually happened to me in my life. It's just the bigger the distraction, the better. This way I didn't have to sit alone with myself and be consumed by this unknown thing that was inside of me. Well, in February 2014, I wanted to get to the bottom of this. I did a 14-day water fast. And through that 14-day water fast, it actually brought on a spiritual awakening. And through that spiritual awakening, I was able to relive and re-experience what had actually happened to me when I was 6 years old. That experience of remembering was actually a gift. I immediately went into forgiveness. And I say this to the men out there right now. You may think or be aware that maybe something had happened to you when you were a child. Don't run from it. Embrace it. Okay? Really, really embrace it. And forgive. One of the most powerful experiences I had in my life was when I actually finally forgave the individual. Right after I saw the vision, right after I re-experienced everything in 2014, I immediately went into forgiveness. And when I got to the place, in about a month, 2 months after that, when I got to the place where I can actually send love from my heart to that individual, I had a massive spiritual experience where my heart just expanded. It was like my heart expanded with love throughout the universe. And it was a feeling I never wanted to give up. And it was profound. And I actually got to see the spiritual contract I had with that individual. And the gift it was to me in awakening. There's no victims. So reconcile these experiences. If you're a man, reconcile this, face it head on. I remember when I first started becoming aware that something may have happened, I'm thinking, wow, I'm a masculine guy. I mean, this could have happened to me when I was younger? No way. And I remember it took me years and years and years to just start to deal with that energy. And now I've arrived to the place where I am today, and I'm happy. I'm happy to see the truth about my life. So I encourage you to do the same.